Review of what it is. Before you get your Advanced Leadership Silver, as Jacob discussed, you have to perform the High Performance Leadership Project. And this is a 5-part project where you assess your abilities as a leader. Then you also get a guidance committee, and you have people who assist you along the way to give you feedback. You get an action team, people who are willing to take part in your project. You do your project, and then tonight you give a speech and give everyone the results. So it's a very informative speech this evening. But I'm happy to be here giving it. As Jacob mentioned, I can do whatever I want with high performance leadership. As long as it's legal, socially responsible, and ethical. My idea was to work with the Seoul English Training Institute, called SETI, S-E-T-I, and they train Korean English teachers to teach public school, and they have a lot of workshops. So I said, well, let's have a workshop where I can help English teachers advance their communication skills and their leadership skills, but really their presentation skills. And it not only helps those teachers in their classroom to teach English and present English, but it also helps them in workshops and administrative meetings. And if you didn't know this, Koreans learn English based on a lot of grammar and writing and some pronunciation. They never ever teach how to use pitch in your voice. So when you ask a question, would you like pizza? They don't do that. Pizza? With the up, they don't go, would you like pizza? They don't go down. They don't learn any of that. So this was a good chance for Korean teachers to be a model, teaching English using their voice skills to teach English, but also their body language and visual aids to make the classes more attractive. Was the program a success? Well, yes it was. I worked with people in this club. Brahm was on my guidance committee. Lauren helped me translate some materials into Korean to get the project going with some of the Korean administrators. And I also worked with some other people at SETI and some other English teachers around Seoul to get this training session going. When I finished this last weekend on Saturday, one of the participants said that she was taught English in Korea for 11 years. And my project and my workshop was the most beneficial thing she's ever seen come from the public schools. It didn't even come from the public schools either. I didn't want to necessarily tell her that, but that shows the need for what I started doing, and hopefully I'll continue doing it in the future. Yes, the project was a success, but was it easy? No. If you've ever worked with a Korean administration or Korean bureaucracy, it took me 2 months to get them to actually do something with my proposal. And it wasn't until I gave them an ultimatum that I would take this away from them. If they didn't act on it, did they actually do something and start planning for it? So my role was to volunteer, but also I was a motivator. And in the end, I had to make that ultimatum to get them to do anything. So in the end, would I have done some things differently? A little bit. I would have actually been more assertive instead of trying to be more relaxed over the last few months to make it happen earlier. But that was what we had was a great training session with Korean English teachers. The roots have been set in the Seoul English public schools and the Gangnam public school system to have, hopefully in the future, more presentation training and more voice training using English. And I hope that continues in the future, but really it's all up to them to keep that going. We can only do so much as leaders to make people follow us. As a final note, I'd like to say my high performance leadership project is the biggest project I've ever done in Toastmasters. It's a big, big manual. It's about 100 pages thick. You have to get a lot of other people involved. And it's not easy, especially when you're working with people who have really no money to gain. You have to motivate them to do it out of the generosity of their heart or for personal improvement. But it won't be the last thing that I do. I hope in March to open a new semi-advanced club called Roast Masters, which you'll hear about more later. I hope to continue to be a part of this club, even though I'm not running for executive again, but I'll still be around. I hope many of the members here and the members not here continue to help out and run for executive. But most of all, Toastmasters is about communication and leadership, and I really hope that even if you're doing projects out of Toastmasters, that you're seen amongst your families and your friends and your coworkers as being the leader. And we see that here all the time, but high performance leadership is about taking it outside of this club. So I encourage everybody in the future to do this project, and even if you don't do this project, do something. I'm going to pass this back to our Toastmaster JD.
Thank you very much, Bob. And as I mentioned, this is Bob's final project he has to complete before he gets his Distinguished Toastmaster Award. Ladies and gentlemen, let's just give Bob a round of applause for doing this. Especially because I'm already standing. Thank you very much, Bob. I have a question I'll bring up to everyone about leadership.